We've just had a lovely couple of days here in Henley, and the mooring is in the gap just behind the two cabin cruisers there. We've literally just got underway, and the destination today is either Reading or Sonning. We're not quite sure which. We need Reading for diesel, and as you can see, it's a very murky morning. There are thunderstorms forecast, a bit breezy too, so it should be an interesting cruise, but we'll see how we get on. I've kept the cover up, you can see that, in case it rains, and the bridges are high enough that I don't have to worry about it here, so enjoy the cruise. After a couple of days rest at Henley, we move on again upstream on the Thames, continuing on through Marsh Lock and stopping at Sonning for the night. After a good night's sleep, we then carried on and stopped at the Tesco near Woodley for a shop, and then Better Boating Boatyard to top up with diesel and pump out and use the services. From then on, it was on through Maple Durham Lock to Pangbourne, where we stopped the night once again, and then on till we got to the moorings at Goring. Hey? Love it. I don't know if you can read that. It says Bob Marley doesn't like boating. Why? He dreadlock. It get worse. Well, so far the rain hasn't materialised, and it does look like it's trying to brighten up. So with that, I've dropped the canopy. I don't like cruising with it up. It's awkward. Visibility is a little bit restricted, and it's just better with it down. So if it rains, I can quickly whip it back up again. It's only a couple of seconds and it's up again. But so that was Marsh Lock we just came through, and now we're heading up to the next one on our way to Sonning. Something that you don't see much of along the river, and that's new builds. I think a lot of the properties here are established. Excuse the camera shaking. Smudge is currently licking my elbow. This is the first sort of new build we've seen since we came on the Thames. Our second lock of the day is Shiplake Lock, and this one, and if you notice the blue sign where Chris has stood, it's self-service, which means we have to operate the lock ourselves. So Chris, bless her, is coming to terms with the controls on the lock. Jan showed her how to do it a few days ago, so she's learning how to do it herself. We got to the top of Shiplake Lock. We found some services and a water supply, so we're taking the opportunity now to top up with water. Their system's a little bit different to ours, but as you can see, you get a shower at the same time. Some beautiful boats. This is one of many. Well, the weather has finally turned as forecast, and we're getting showers coming through, hence the pram hood is now up and I'm sheltering inside. We just stopped. Chris has done a big shop at the Tesco's, and we're now heading off to see if we can find somewhere to moor up. There's a lock up ahead, and then we're going to go through that, and there should be some visitor moorings hopefully just after the lock, so we'll try and get in there if we can. But as you can tell on the Thames, it's no different to the canals. If you're not moored up before 1 o'clock, you don't get moored up by the look of it. But we'll see, we'll see. We managed to find ourselves a mooring at Christchurch Meadows Park, which is just behind Fry Island. And it looks quite pleasant here, so this will do us for tonight. It's not too bad. It's a 24-hour mooring and it's £9.50 a night. So it's not too bad, I suppose. It's quiet, we're off the beaten track. The main stretch of the canal is way off at the back there where the houses are on the opposite bank. So we shouldn't be disturbed too much. I could hear birds tweeting, couldn't work out where it was coming from. I think that answers the question. Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds comes to mind. And that was the stays for the footbridge which we're currently on, which we passed under earlier with Amy Jo, who happens to be moored just in front of that white beam down there. Main channel comes down through this way, going upstream, but we diverted under the bridge to this channel, which is where we're moored. On our way back to Amy Jo from Walking Smudge, a gentleman in the park approached us and asked if we were Steve and Chris. It turns out this gentleman was Chris N, who was one of our regular viewers on our live feed and subscriber to the channel. We invited him on board and had a pleasant afternoon talking with him, and it was lovely to see you, Chris. Thank you for stopping by. Well, we're leaving our mooring now here in Caversham, opposite Friar Island, I think it's called, and we're now heading upstream as usual. I think today we're aiming to get somewhere near Pangbourne, but we'll see how it goes. It's humid, it's cloudy, and I don't know if rain's on the forecast, but it's a pleasant morning nonetheless. So we will continue. As you can see behind me, we're actually at the back of the island, and we're now going to move forward and go on to the main stream of the river. So enjoy the cruise today, folks. Mooring spot where we were moored last night. So what we did, we carried on down through that away. no, I tell a lie, where the truck is our mooring from last night. And we carried on down the channel and turned around the island. We did stop there, but then we found a better mooring further back, so and a very nice evening we had too. We're just about to go under Caversham Bridge, but just look at the scroll work on the side there. It's repeated on the other side, but I gather it's probably not that old, this bridge. Scrolls on the other side. See the enemy camp as far as smudge is concerned. Swans by the hundreds. And he's eyeing every one of them. He's got his eye on them all. He doesn't know where to look first though. This is Maple Durham Lock. Or Maple Durham Lock, sorry. And it's a huge lock. And as you can see, quite choppy too. One of the things about large rivers like the Thames is they're quite expansive. And this is the view you can see for quite a long while. So we've not been doing much videoing at the moment, because this is the view from behind and that's the view from up ahead. There's really not a lot to see, to be honest. But up ahead is Pangbourne, so hopefully there'll be something to see there. But otherwise, it's a lovely cruise. On our arrival at Pangbourne Meadows, we found this one mooring vacant, just big enough for Amy Jo to squeeze in. So I started lining Amy Jo up to come into the mooring, paying attention to the boat already moored, because I knew I would be tight to that boat. But unknown to me, and I was completely oblivious of the fact, that the cruiser on the right of shot was also aiming for the same spot. Unfortunately for him, Amy Jo was slightly ahead and we got there first. He had to turn around and go look for another mooring, and I don't think he was very happy about it. Well, this is Pangbourne Meadows, which is where we're moored, and as you can see, it's great for smudge. A lovely walk, goes on for miles, and there are moorings all the way along here, and I can let Smudge stretch his legs. And literally 3 boats behind us are Mark and Julie on We're on the Move. On the vlog, We're on the Move. So just walking his nibs for his early morning walk. Well, not so early today because we've had a lay in, but it's lovely here, absolutely gorgeous. Well, having had a lovely couple of days here at Pangbourne Meadows, we're moving on again. Tony and Jan have got their fridge that they were waiting for, which doesn't work, so they're going to have to sort that out, but that's another story, and I dare say he'll let you know in his vlog. But we're moving on today, so I think it's going to be a short one, possibly to Goring or Cleve Lock. We'll see how we get on and see what the moorings are. So enjoy the cruise today, folks. And Chris is on her perch.
Yeah, I'm perched on them. I've got no legs.
Who's got no legs? And like most of our journeys, when we start off, first thing is a lock. And we're just coming up to I forgot what it was. Whitchurch Lock, I think this is. Well, this is Whitchurch Lock, and as you can see, we're in at an angle, and that's because Amy Jo only just fitted in. That's the block for the gate, so it literally squeezed us in, and the only way we could get in was diagonally across the lock. So they are desperately trying to conserve water on the Thames, and they get as many boats in as they can in one lock. That's a plastic one. That's cheating. On arrival at Goring, we found the visitor moorings extremely busy. However, there was a cap that looked like Amy Jo might fit. So we gave it a try, and with 4 foot to spare, we managed to squeeze in.
Oh, you're fitting there just snug. We were with him at Pangbourne.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, we were batten.
Over.
Yeah, batten to batten with him anyway, so he'll be fine. It's deceptive, isn't it?
That's why I came alongside it first.
I thought it was
Measure it first.
Do you want me to tie that round that one, or I'll just wrap it round and then you can do what you
Yeah,
want with it,
just
can't you?
go round and then that's it. And back, lovely. Then smudge.
For those interested, Goring, or Goring-on-Thames, is a village in the parish of the River Thames in South Oxfordshire, England, about 5.5 miles or 9 kilometres south of Wallingford and 8 miles 13 kilometres northwest of Reading. It had a population of 3,187 in the 2011 census. The name Goring first appears in the Domesday Book of 1086 as Garringes, then as Garringes in a charter once held in the British Museum. It translates as Garra's people. The day we arrived corresponded with Goring's village fete, and we were treated to coffee and cake on the village green nearby the river, listening to lovely music by this beautiful brass band in the sunshine.